improve the lives of children and families, and I'm going to raise the money to do it. Geoffrey Canada has a $78 million budget. Geoffrey Canada is telling white folks, I don't need no more money, because he got a $78 million budget. He has a state-of-the-art facility in Harlem. He has 2 charter schools. They also have a baby college where they're basically working with women when they're giving birth at Harlem Hospital and entering those families into what's called the Harlem Children's Zone. His model has been replicated. The Obama administration replicated the Harlem Children's Zone, and they funded 200 communities across this country to look at a very innovative approach to solving community problems. It's the baddest brother on the planet, y'all. Nobody in this country that I know of is doing what he's doing. And he's a very humble guy. He's not arrogant, and everything that he does is around problem solving. How many of y'all know who this is?
Like Jerry Springer.
You said Jerry Springer. It's not Jerry Springer. Who is this? Yes, sir. That's George Soros.
Oh, yeah, it is George Soros.
This is George Soros. George Soros, who I've had an opportunity to meet on a number of occasions. A couple of years ago, I took George Soros on a tour of East Baltimore. George Soros is a billionaire philanthropist. He owns the Open Society Institute. He cares more about black males than most black professional athletes and entertainers. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because he's put his money in places to dramatically improve the lives of black males. In 2009, George Soros wrote a check for $33 million to begin to fund programs for black boys all across this country. George Soros and Mayor Bloomberg in New York City combined to put together $67 million to work with black boys in New York City. I don't know any black athletes or entertainers that are putting that kind of money up in our community to dramatically improve the lives of children and families. George Soros. How many of y'all know who this young lady is in the far corner? One person. Yes, ma'am. You know who it is?
Gates.
No, the white woman right here.
No, Gates. It's not Gates.
No, that's Wendy Cobb. Started Teach for America.
Okay, Teach for America.
All right, Teach for America. Again, she was a teacher. She figured out that I could create a business retraining and retooling teachers. Teach for America is one of the largest pipelines for training teachers, particularly teachers in low-income communities. How many of y'all know who this beautiful young lady is? 5 of y'all. Okay.
Right.
Susan Taylor, formerly of Essence Magazine. Susan Taylor created a large mentoring movement called Mentoring Cares. Oprah gave Susan about $1 million 2 years ago to launch Mentoring Cares, and she's been able to get a lot of corporate support. So this is Susan Taylor. Any of y'all know who this young lady is? Who is she? Feeding is fundamental. Feeding will save your life. Any of y'all know who Tina Wells is? Who is she? No, not actress.
Buzz Marketing.
Buzz Marketing. How many of you guys have ever heard of her? And how old is this young lady? 31. And this young lady is considered to be one of the leading innovators in the country. She focuses on trends, understanding teen and youth trends, and major companies. Calvin Klein, you name Nike, you name the company, they come to her and say, what's hot, what's not? And so all of her work is around determining what trends are hot, and then she's able to sell that information to major companies, all right? And so this is just a few of the social entrepreneurs that I think are doing some exceptional work. Very quickly, just some things that I want you to consider, or some things to think about, because as I tell Donnie all of the time, if we don't get this thing around about business development straight, there's no way we're going to win, y'all.
Amen.
If we can't get this straight, if we can't dramatically increase the number of fully functional businesses, I'm not talking about brothers selling bootleg CDs out the back of their car.
Hey, what's wrong with that?
If we can't do this right, we're not going to make it, y'all. We, particularly black folks in America, we will continue to be in trouble. Now more than ever.
Yes, sir.
We need
business. That's right. Absolutely.
We need black-owned businesses.
That's right. Yes,
All
sir.
right, write that down in your notepad, type it in your iPhone or iPad or whatever you got, because this right here is probably going to be the most important conversation
That's right.
that you have today.
That's right. Yes, sir.
We are one of the few groups of people in this country, we can't even hire our own children.
That's right. Yes, sir.
And I want y'all to think about that. Don't get mad at me. I've been put out of a lot of places.
Not
Churches,
this one.
synagogues, mosques, off of university campuses. We are one of the few groups of people where collectively we are not creating enough businesses
Right.
to hire our own children. We get mad at white folks. We be mad at the Pakistanis. We be mad at whoever, the Chinese, whatever. But the question is, when are we going to decide that starting a business is more important than driving a $70,000 car?
That's right. Yes, sir.
And I know I'm hurting somebody's feelings.
No.
I'm going to say that again because I know some of us are slow.
Right,
They
right.
came on the short bus this morning. Right?
Brainwash.
Starting a business, starting a legacy.
That's right.
Where you can hire your children. So your children never have to work for anybody else is more important than riding around in a $70,000 car.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely.
I want y'all to think about that.
That's right.
Some of us, we driving $70,000 cars and we living in a $30,000
That's
duplex.
right. That's right. Yes,
That's
sir.
a whole nother. Y'all
No. We need to hear. We need to hear that, bro.
So
Yes,
here's
sir.
just some things that I want y'all to think about very quickly, and then I'm gonna take questions. What's it gonna take over the next 5 to 10 years for you to radically grow your business? What's it gonna take? Some of it is mentorship, and I'm gonna say that again. No man is an island. Any business owner that is speaking today will tell you that they got a mentor. And I know sometimes I don't always speak to King's English, right? But I can. All right. So mentorship is very important. There are men and women that you need to connect with that can walk you through how to write a business plan, how to do marketing with a low budget, how to do things like accounting. All right. And so every business owner needs a mentor. You cannot do this alone. And so what is it going to take over the next 5 to 10 years for you to dramatically grow your business? What are the kind of characteristics and skills that you need? Because if you're going to be a business owner, there's going to be a lot of time spent looking in the mirror. Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about.
Amen.
You're going to be questioning whether or not, because there have been some days, y'all, I done asked myself, why am I doing this? When I can go get a regular job, just be a regular Negro? I mean, I ask myself this sometimes. And so I know, how many of you have ever questioned whether or not this is really your destiny? That's everybody in it. That's part of the journey. Because if you talk to Bill Gates, or if you talk to any business owner, you talk to Russell Simmons, all of them, there's been a period in their development where they've questioned what they're doing. And so these are just a couple of basic questions, and I'm going to jump to some questions, some things that I want you to think about, because what I really want to be able to move people is over to this side where we talk about leaders. Because a lot of times we struggle because we don't have a vision. Managers focus on things. They just want you to just be doing stuff. I got 7 minutes, thank you. Leaders focus on people. How do you maximize people? How do you maximize human capital? See, we talk a lot about money. How do we move people? See, in my business, the more people I can move, the more money I can make. The more lives I change, the more money I can make. All right? Doing things right or doing the right things. Because part of this conversation also has to be around business ethics. Because if we're going to run businesses, y'all, we got to be honest. And write that, underline it, circle it, and highlight it. If we're going to run businesses and we're going to be respected, we got to be honest. Inspire. Most business leaders inspire. All right? And whether it's inspire people to move, inspire people to buy a product, you name it. Influence, motivate, build, and shape entities. At this point, I'm just going to open up for questions, because Donnie only told me I got 6 minutes. 5 more minutes left. This young lady here, and then we're going to go over here.
Real quick, could you just post the website you had for
Yes,
your
ma'am. Oh, wait, okay. Let me address her question, then y'all give my contact information. And these are just a few. If you email me, whether you're looking for social entrepreneurial funding streams, both here and abroad, there are a number. Is that so? You fine? Let's go to this young lady here, then I'm gonna come to you.
This is more of a statement rather than a question, but I was glad that you put up the slide distinguishing leadership versus management.
Yes.
Because I think a lot of times people who are owners, business owners, think that they're interchangeable, where managing is more systemic and leadership is more people. So sometimes we get in trouble when we're trying to do something that causes, really needs the human factor, and we're treating people like they are systems, and so we get all messed up. And so we do need that distinction between managing and leading, and knowing that they are not interchangeable.
And I would also say very quickly, as I take this young lady's question, you know, we need to support this facility here, because again, everybody else got this, y'all. We behind, and so if you can come in here, go to a workshop, get a few useful tips, meet somebody, partner with somebody, check out somebody's website. You know, we got to start doing business together. Like, so there's no way that I should say have to hire an Asian web designer, right? I shouldn't have to hire a native, I shouldn't have to hire somebody outside of my race if I choose not to, because there's strength in numbers. Somebody else, oh yes ma'am, I'm sorry.
Yeah, David, I'm truly impressed with everything you've said.
Thank you.
I'm definitely tuned into Network for Change. I formed a women's organization, Prince George's County, Baltimore, Metropolitan. We have roughly about 60% of women that have their own business.
Okay.
But what I did was I looked at what they were doing. And a lot of women were involved in mentoring young kids, looking at breast cancer, health issues that impact women. We look at a series of issues, social issues. And so what we do is we support them. So when I saw that slide that says Net for Change is on point, I cannot wait to get in to look at that website, because this is what we all do.
And let me also add that one of the things that we decided to do, and then I'll take a couple more questions. One of the things that we decided to do is we had already had a for-profit company. We started a non-profit company, and so I'm able to do both. I'm able to do work in two different worlds. I'm able to do work in terms of for-profit, where I do technical assistance and training, fee for service, but then I can also write grants. And so most of the initiatives that we are running, I raised over $1 million in, I'm not even a full-time grant writer. Never took a grant writing course in my life. What I decided to do is, if somebody giving out money, I'm going to learn how to write grants. Even though I know how to write, my parents told me how to write when I was a little boy, right? And I went to college and graduate school and all of that. And so if other people can write grants, why can't I write grants? Because there is, if you do it right, there is a tremendous amount of money out here on the nonprofit side. I think the challenge with the nonprofit piece is, here's what ends up happening. We file and we set up a nonprofit, and then we have all our friends on the board. Grandmother be the chairman of the board. The only thing your grandmother's good at is cooking chicken. She don't know anything about business, but she the chairman of the board of your nonprofit. That's the mistake that many of our professional athletes make. When you look at the foundations, a large percentage of the professional athletes that I have met and entertainers, they got foundations that are not able to do the kind of charitable stuff that they would like to do because their families are on the board. They don't have an accountant on the board. They don't have somebody on the board who can do strategic planning. And so, for those of you that are interested in the nonprofit piece, that board development piece is very, very critical. You don't need people on the board that are going to co-sign everything you want to do. You need people on the board that's going to say, I read this proposal and it's horrible. It needs to be rewritten if we're going to submit this proposal. So I'll take two other questions. Over here, Brother Aki.
Yes, well, I appreciate your presentation, brother. Definitely is powerful. In terms of urban environment and entrepreneurship, what are some of the businesses, models that your organization have been a part of, or are looking at? What particular industries can, I know you mentioned hip-hop, and
that's a good question. I mean, one of the things is we're slowly moving into film, and when I say slowly, I mean very slowly moving into film, because again, I'm critically concerned about the lack of positive images that I see, particularly about black men and about fathers. And so we're working with a number of groups to dramatically increase the amount of images. And so we're looking at some point, maybe 2013, creating a film company. And so, you know, I've been able to meet a lot of I've been able to meet a number of very talented producers and cast that are doing short films. And again, I think that there's a huge market for short films. So we're slowly moving in to films. One of my passions, and I was talking to a young lady in the back, one of my passions that I haven't really had a lot of time to focus on is youth entrepreneurship. And so this summer I'm going to focus on writing a youth entrepreneurship curriculum that's going to have a really urban slant. Because Nifty is cool and some of this other stuff is cool, but like when you're growing up in a neighborhood, you know, I learned about wet and dry weight. Y'all know what wet and dry weight is? Okay, that's a whole so I learned about a whole bunch of different stuff growing up. I learned about business from watching drug dealers in my neighborhood sell drugs. I'm being honest. That's how I learned about business. Even though I never sold drugs or got involved in that lifestyle, I learned a lot from these cats. And so our kids need a different kind of slant sometime when we talk about business. And so, you know, we are going to start our contribution to those who are doing youth entrepreneurship is we're going to write a very cutting edge curriculum.
Awesome.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you still involved in East Baltimore? I work with the transformation team, Major Melvin Russell.
Very familiar with Major Russell and the great work that you guys are doing. You know, the sad reality is, I mean, we don't, even though my office is in Baltimore, we don't do as much work in Baltimore as we used to. And so,
because the city just announced they're looking for someone for the youth, for some money for a youth program. They want to kick off Safe Streets. I think it's taking.
Right. We have done some work with Safe Streets, but Safe Streets is an initiative to basically hire former gang members to go out and work in communities with people who are most likely to commit homicides. And so they do have an RFP that's coming out, and that's going to be in the Park Heights
But one
community.
thing we work focused on, we have the 12 teams you proposed. I head up the health of disparities, and I'm not doing my, that's my nonprofit component.
Okay, okay.
And back. I also work with the technology and social change group in Baltimore.
Okay.
But one of the things there is the entrepreneurship with the young people. That's one of the key points. I think our business team is working on trying to get that mindset. And I'm an entrepreneur from my father's needs. He was an entrepreneur, and that's what he instilled. He always told us there's two sets of people: your employee and the entrepreneur. It's a set mindset.
Right.
And that's what we're trying to instill the youth there. That's what I was trying to instill what this.
One of the groups that I'm working with is a group in Oakland, and they're doing some entrepreneurship around teaching young people how to create their own documentaries. And so what they're doing is giving young people a stipend, giving them cameras, giving them the kind of training and technical assistance they need, and the business development to go out and shoot very short